All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. So this is our STEMpump RPG Maker camp. My name's Ritesh, and I'm gonna be with you guys for the next 2 hours, and we're gonna make some fun games. We're gonna make some RPGs. So, first of all, who are we? STEMpump is a student-led initiative that teaches students the best of STEM technologies for free. We cover a lot of different variety of subjects from programming, robotics, even game design. We started STEMpump Online in response to the current pandemic and quarantine and all that, but we usually teach our in-person camps in Dallas, Texas. So hopefully we have a few of you guys from around here. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat because it's been going on for the past few weeks. So hopefully we've hit that groove of getting into it. So how does this camp work? So basically during the stream, feel free to ask questions in the chat. We're gonna get around to asking or answering all of them. And then if you have more questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to us on Discord, on social media. We usually always respond as soon as we can, and hopefully we can help you fix your problem. So here's some overall camp topics that we're going to go over. We're going to go over map design, so creating our map that we can play on. We're going to go over character creation, so making a bunch of different characters that we can play with. We're going to use events to create game flow, so we can go into rooms, houses, fight enemies, have NPCs, non-playable characters, like I said, transfer events, and then NPCs. So this is all we're going to do. Doesn't seem like a lot, but we're going to go a little bit into it, show you how much this program can really go towards. So if you haven't downloaded the RPG Maker free trial yet, you can download it right here, and I'm going to paste this into the chat. And sadly, since RPG Maker costs around $80, it's a lot lower sometimes. The free trial for 30 days is what we're going to probably focus on right now. And if you've already used MV in the past, you can use VXAce, and they work pretty much the same interchangeably, whatever works for you. So I'll give you around a minute to do that if you haven't done it already. Almost demo this. So if you go stempump.com/r/install-rpgmaker, it should bring you to this page. All you have to do is put in a name and an email, and then you should be able to download it, and it's only on Windows. I forgot if they email you your download, or you can just hit download and it'll download it directly. Both of them cost money, but they both have the free trials, like I said. So you have free trials for MV and VXAce. A great website to go check out is humblebundle.com, because that's where I got mine for around $10, and you just got to keep checking all the time. But they have a lot of programs that's super cheap. The link is stempump.com/r/install-rpgmaker. I'll paste it one more time into the chat. And I'll give you just one more minute to go install that. It says in 10 minutes. Let me see something. So yeah, what's gonna happen is it's gonna download as soon as you give it an email and a name. So I'll give it an extra minute just for you guys to get that done if you haven't done it already. It'll download in 10 minutes. Well, we're not gonna really go into the program that much right now, so hopefully 10 minutes will go by and you can have it installed, bro. 6844. Yes, you can use your school email. Yeah, mine says 2 hours left as well. It just depends on your Wi-Fi network. Mac users can't get the trial. The only way to really get it if you're on Mac is by buying it from them, sadly. But yeah, it gets faster as the download goes through. It needs to go through. So I'll give it another minute. Here's the link, stempump.com/r/install-rpgmaker. If you're having issues downloading it, you can wait for it to download. You can go through the course with us right now, and if it's not downloading afterwards later today, we're gonna have the whole stream uploaded to our YouTube channel and on the app. As well as that, we're gonna link you to our written course. So if you want a little bit more in-depth content, you can go there. So yeah, let's continue right now. So what is RPG Maker? So RPG Maker is a series of programs built for making RPG games. Um, so it's a popular game development engine with many games that are made every year through, RPG Maker that are released on Steam all the time. So we're just going to go over a few examples of RPGs. So for one, Pokemon's RPG. You're a Pokemon trainer. You go around, catching Pokemon, battling. The URL, once again, was this. It's in the chat. But it's a really, popular RPG game. You play as your, character. You go around battling, collecting money, collecting Pokemon, having a storyline, going into buildings, collecting stuff. So it's a pretty, classic type of RPG. And this is going to be pretty similar to the type of style that we're working in today, which is a lot more 2D pixel art. And then here's an example of one of the newer 3D RPGs, which is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So this is the remake of the original game, which came out in the 90s for the SNES. Not the SNES, the Game Boy. Yeah, the Game Boy. But it's still, your classic RPG. You have battling, you can collect items, you have, enemies and non-playable characters like this chicken right here and here. There's, terrain, a map is what we're going to be making today like this. But like I said, it's going to be closer to the Pokemon art style. So, yeah, this is another type of RPG. There's a lot of battles and stuff. So one thing I want to hear from all of you guys is what are some of your favorite RPGs? Because, then we can kind of, talk about it, have some fun today. So I see Chrono Trigger. I haven't played that one, but I've heard about it, and I heard it was good. Final Fantasy Tactics and Ogre Battle. Pretty cool. Fire Emblem. Yeah, I've played a little bit of that. Pokemon Shield. I'm a Pokemon Sword person. I have to get the DLC still, though. Yeah, these are all pretty good. Like I said, Legend of Zelda and, Pokemon will be pretty close. A little bit of Fire Emblem is what we're going to be doing a little bit today. So, yeah. So, what is RPG Maker MV exactly, though? So, RPG Maker MV is the most recent version of the RPG Maker series. There was, RPG Maker 2003, I think, then RPG Maker VX, then VX Ace, and then now we're at MV, which is, the most powerful one, and it's really cool. So this is one we're going to be using, and like I said, you can use RPG VX Ace, even though it's not as refined, you're missing a few features. One of the best things about RPG Maker MV is once you complete making a game, you can actually export it and then upload it to, the App Store or the Play Store or Xbox or Steam. So there's a lot of, different ways to, export your game and get other people playing them. So we're going to get started here. So once you have it opened, so we're just going to open RPG Maker. And we're going to see an interface just like this. It's going to be plain. We have this, what we're going to call the tab bar at the top, and then you have this blank interface. So what I'm going to ask you to do is click right here where it says Create New Game. See, it's where we're going to make a new project or game, and it creates a new project. You're going to give it a name, a game title, and then save it to your desktop. So I'm going to do that right now. So you just click in this top corner on this piece of paper. I'm just going to name it My First Game. And then I'm going to save it to my desktop. And like I said, if your download hasn't finished yet, we're going to go a lot slower right now, just so you guys can get through that. And like I said, this will also be uploaded after stream, and we also have our written documentation and curriculum for it. So after this, you're going to see this screen. And what we're going to do first is we're actually going to dissect what every single thing on this screen means before we actually get into making our game, so you understand all the tools that we can use. So hopefully you named it. And you can name your project one thing and give it your game title another thing. You can change your game title, and I'll show you how to do that later, after you're done making the game. So click here. So like I said, you're going to see a screen just like this, and we're going to kind of dissect all these different parts. So first, we're going to focus on the tab bar. And this is what we're going to call the tab bar because there's all these tabbed icons that do different things. So like we said, this one creates the game, right? Where we make our project, where you can save it, add a name to it, and all that. Right here's where we can open games. So if you're making multiple games, maybe you're making one RPG that's a battling RPG, maybe making something that's closer to Pokemon, you can open games. This is saving, and like saving, you can always do Control S or Command S, whatever works for you. This is just a physical button. This is your cut tool, so you can cut items out and then paste them somewhere else. This is our copy tool, so we can copy items and then paste them somewhere else without deleting the original item. And then our paste tool. This is our undo tool, which is super helpful. It allows us to undo a tool, or any change that we make, which is really helpful when we're making these types of things. This is called map editing mode. So when this mode's turned on, we're able to change our environment. We're able to make cool graphics and houses and mountains or whatever we really want to do. This is event editing mode, which allows us to create functionality of our game. So maybe battling or shop processing, or maybe you want to have an inn or a hotel to sleep at, fighting monsters, going into buildings, that sort of thing. And then these are our editing tools right here. And these 5 only work when you're selected on this. And we're going to kind of go through that a little bit later. It's just really important that you understand what each one of these buttons do. So this is our pen tool, and all that allows us to do is just draw one pixel at a time. This is our rectangle tool, so we can draw boxes or rectangles or squares. This is our ellipse tool, and an ellipse is basically anything that's rounded. So it could be a circle, it could be an oval, and that allows us to maybe do a little pond or a fountain, maybe a lake. You can use that for. This is our fill tool. So if you want to maybe you make a house out of wood, but you want it to be stone, or you want to have like a water house for some reason, you can use the fill tool to replace an entire object. This is our shadow tool, and our shadow tool is super important. So you can basically create depth to your game so it doesn't all look like they're on one flat surface. And we're going to kind of experiment with that as well. For those that just joined, right now we're going through the interface of using RPG Maker. And if you haven't installed it yet, I've just pasted the link into the chat one more time. So like I said, this is our shadow tool, which will allow us to create shadows. This is our zoom out tool, so we can zoom in and zoom out on our map. This is our zoom in tool, so you can wait. Did I mess that up? Yeah, I messed it up. Okay, this is our zoom in tool. Sorry, zoom in, not zoom out. This is our zoom out tool, and this is called our one-to-one tool, otherwise known as original zoom. So if I zoom in a bunch and I zoom out a bunch, but I don't know where my exact original value was, I can just click here and it'll bring me back to my original space. This is called my database, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this because it allows you to customize your game even further than RPG Maker's defaults allow you. This is called the plugins tab. It allows you to add things that other people have made. So maybe someone added, I don't know, a rainbow generator. Then you could use this to then, you can use that to maybe, add it in. So it's really great because it allows you to go in and add in stuff. Next is our sound test tool. Not really much to do. It just allows you to test the different sounds that you have access to make sure that they're all doing good. This is our event searcher tool, so you can search events across your game. Because once it gets really, really big, you're gonna have hundreds, if not, tens of hundreds of events that you all need to keep track of, and this will allow you to go through them a lot faster. This is our resource manager. It just allows you to make sure that you have all the resources you need. It doesn't really matter for this case. And this is one of the cool parts. It's called a character generator. It'll allow you to create your own custom characters within the game. And then this is our play button right here. And this will allow us to play our game. So here are the main tabs that we're going to use. We're going to be basically using every tab today, except the ones that are blacked out. So these 4, because these are all super complex, where you can use JavaScript or plugins, and that's not really what today's course is about. So right now, we're going to focus on this side, which is the tile palette. And the tile palette allows us basically to take these tiles and change how our map looks. And so right here we have tabs. We have A, B, C, and R. So this is what our A tab looks like. Some grass, some dirt, so volcanic rocks, snow, some mini trees, small, mountains, some little water, lava. These are, a lot bigger of a scale on our B tab. We have, castles and mountains and trees, pyramids, igloos, tents, beanstalks. If you know from Jack and his great beanstalk, you can make mountains, and we're going to kind of talk about how you can use all these different things. And then we have, C, which is more of like a city type thing. We have, buildings and small hospitals, a little city, craters, destroyed buildings. And so, like I said, we're only going to be using palettes A, B, C, and R. I mean, not R. We're only going to be using A, B, and C. Sorry. And R is meant for a lot more complex techniques and features. So we're only going to be focusing on these three when we're designing our map today. So there's going to be a lot of types of tiles that we can pick with. And I just kind of explained this, but here's a little bit more of a formal definition. So for the types of tiles, there are different subsets of tiles that can be used on a map. The first tab of tiles, or the A tab, is used for basic elements like grass or paths, bricks, and water. Other tabs are used for a lot more decoration and detail that are added on top of these base tiles. And then be added on to create complexity to the map, maybe like mountains, like I said, or trees, buildings, some roads. And so now we're going to focus on this bottom corner. This is called our map list. And what our map list is it shows us our overall game and then all the different maps, because we can create our own maps on top of that. So if you right click on map 001, you can click the new button and create a new map. So let's just do that. So if I right click it, hit new, I'll get this page. Okay, I'm just gonna hit OK, and just like that, I have a blank map. But notice how it's underneath. So what you could do is if you right click on this map and hit new, it'll create a map underneath this map. So maybe this will be a town, and then this map would be maybe the inside of a house. This way you can organize a lot better. However, if I right click on top of my first game and click new, hit this, it will be on the same level and it won't be underneath that. So this allows for organization. So you can organize your map and make sure that you're not being overly cluttered. So when you hit new or edit, you're going to see a tab like this, okay? The only things we really need to focus on are these things, because everything else is a lot more, advanced. We're going to focus on the name of our map, the tile set of our map, as well as, the display name of our map, and the width and height. Sorry for those that downloads are taking a long time. This is being recorded, so don't worry if you're a little bit late, and we also have our online documentation that you can read through. So like I said, these are the main parts we're going to be focusing on. We're not going to be focusing on display name that much, but we're going to be focusing on the name of our map, our tileset option, and our width and height. This width and height will allow us to choose how big we want our map to be or how small. Tileset will kind of go into that and explain, which type of tiles do we want to use. And yeah, it's going to be on YouTube as well as our app. And so there are 4 main types of map tile sets, and I'm going to kind of go over them after reading through this. So first, there's the overworld, and that's basically a map of your game's entire world, large scale. So maybe you wanted to have like a mission sequence, right? And your character is, going through, from a forest to a river. And you don't want them to go really small. You can make them, bigger and just highlight them like on a map. So that'd be overworld. Outside would be a lot more small scale. So maybe a town or a village or a forest. Inside is designed for like buildings and houses. So the inside of or interior of areas. And then you have dungeon. And dungeon's really cool because it allows you to basically build underground or above ground in mountain type dungeons where you can, have monsters coming out or fight villains or maybe even have an underground village. And so you can kind of see this right here. So if I have my map right here, I can right click it, hit the word edit, and then we have our tile sets, and here they all are. So you have a lot of options. So we're just going to go through each one. So as we know, this is our first overworld. So if I just look through all of them, we have these icons all right here. If I right click edit and I change this to outside and I hit OK, we have a lot more options because it's a lot more, local. It's a lot more small scale. So we have, housing. We have the roofs and the walls. We have more textures to work with. Here we have like doors and tents and snow type areas. Maybe for shops you can have there's a lot of different icons up here. Right here, C is like towers, and you can build barns, and you have gold dragon statues, some destroyed things, and like I said, R doesn't really matter for us. Then we have inside, which focuses on the inside of a house. See how this all changed? When you switch between tiles, you don't want to do that as often because it will mess up how your map looks. So like mine changed it to this because this is the next closest thing. So if you look through here, we have a lot more wood. We have walls to work with. We don't have any roofs. Roofs because you're inside. You have little stairs, ladders, rope, some bookshelves, pianos, chairs, cracks, and then a lot of small items such as bears or books and food and types like this, where you can use it to decorate your environment. Maybe weapons. You want to have a weapon store. You can maybe put some weapons out on here. Edit. We can look in dungeon. In dungeon, you have railroads, and you still have books. So a lot of things are shared, but we have maybe some minerals and stuff. It's a lot more like types of crystals and a lot more magic involved right here. You shouldn't need an app to open the file if you can just extract it. And if you guys are having, any of you need help, you can always go to stempump.com/contact-us, and someone will be emailing you right away if you need any help during today's stream. So this is our dungeon. We have all these different types of things. You can click on them and mess with them. We have B, like I said, and then C. Let's do edit, and let's check out the last two. So we did say there were four. There were four main types, and then these two are some extra types. We have SF outside. And so this is a lot more, fancy and a lot more modernistic. So we have, some different types of walls, a lot more industrial and more like tech-like. We have some weird buttons, so maybe you don't have buttons that, go through. We have lasers, some trash cans, a lot more trees, some cars. So this is more of like a city. I think SF stands for San Francisco. Light up signs, non-lit up signs, like I said, cars and buses. Do MV. If you can't get MV, VX Ace works fine as well, but we recommend using MV. And then on our C tab, we have, these weird machines and, stones, some warning symbols, some statues, slides, some little fountains, some roofs, helicopters, and, tanks. So we have a lot more options right here for our SF. I think this is SF outside. Yeah. And then our last one, 006, or 0006, is our inside. So a lot of these things are pretty much the same. But we do have, chalkboard if you want to do a little school maybe. See, you have this cool pattern. You have some, more vending machines and kitchenware, couches, some chairs. So there's a lot of different things you can use with the default set. We might talk about, how you can add your own into the system. And so what you can also do is, say you're pretty lazy like I am when you're making games, you can right click and hit the load button. And there are tons and tons of just different pre-built maps that you can use. So one of my favorite ones is Normal Town, because of how well it's designed, and I can just go through here. I'll zoom out a little bit, and there's water, and all the buildings are built, so it's pretty easy for you to just get into here and start working. There's a little exit right here where you can have maybe transfers. The recording will be on our YouTube channel, and it will also be on our STEMpump app, and you can also go to our website and find it. So to load, once again, you just got to right click on any map or your main game and just hit the load button, and then you can just choose one of many different maps you want. See, like that. Like, this is a pretty big map. It's very fancy. Like, this is some water effect that's happening right there. So yeah, like I said, this is what you're going to see when you're trying to load a map. And then what we can also do is we can do something called generate dungeon. And this is really cool. So what I'm going to do is I have our map that we didn't make, right? I can right click on here, click generate dungeon, and then I can click. So the issue here is I need to change the type to dungeon, I think. Let me do that. Yeah. So when you want to generate a dungeon, make sure that you have the dungeon tile sets enabled by hitting edit. Then what we're going to do is right click, hit generate dungeon, and then we can do is just, you know, choose our wall and our floor. So I'm maybe do some lava type stuff, some like that. I hit OK, and it has this that comes up, and you know, that's not that cool, so you can generate dungeon. And that's because it's a room, so let's do a maze. And now what we did is we generated a maze. And you might not see it, so let me regenerate one with the different walls. And so now you can see that we have that maze. Every time you hit generate, it'll change it up a little bit, and the bigger the room. So if I just did it to the Lost Forest, so to generate dungeon, it made a maze. Look how complex this is. So it definitely saves a lot of time when you want to, you know, maybe make a maze of villains and stuff. So it'll automatically design it completely for you, and you can, you know, change your specifications. Because if I played this, I would never make it out. Like, I don't even know where the entrance or exits are. I don't think there are entrances and exits in this map. So yeah, and we can even go a little bit further by generating, maybe adding some margins and wide passages. And then right here, that looks a lot more manageable. But you can use this to create a lot of different types of designs. And so when you want to use dungeon generator, you'll see something like this. And if this is blank, you just got to change your tile set. And then finally, we're going to look back at our original map. So I'm going to change our tile set back to the original one. I'll change it to outside. So we're looking at this. And so this is our map. Our map is basically what your player is going to see when they play the game. So a map in RPG Maker is used to create a location in your game's world, and it's arranged as a collection of game tiles. And right here, each one of these, if you click on them, make a square, each one of this is a game tile. And so what are tiles? So a map is made out of 32 by 32 pixel tiles, and we're going to show you how small that actually is. And so these tiles can be of different types and can be used to create a visual representation of a location. So basically it allows us to design how our game looks. And each tile is made to look by, you know, like a particular feature that a location might have. For example, you know, grass, a door, walls, or water. And the tiles are found in the tile palette on the left side of the screen. So this are called our tile palette, our tab bar, our map, and our map list. And so we only use tabs A, B, and C because ours are a little bit more complex. And so this is how small our tile is. And so this is made up of what? A lot of different tiles. But that's just what one of them is. It's only 32 by 32 pixels, but it contributes to your overall design of your game. Just that. And so now we're going to make sure that we're on map editing mode. So you want to make sure that you clicked on the map editing button right here. So if you click on it, it'll be selected like this. So now we're going to have some fun. We're going to play around with all these different types of tiles and palettes, and we're going to make a house and a small pond. You can either follow me or do whatever you want, because this camp is a lot more based on what you want to make with RPG Maker. So you can either copy what I do or, you know, experiment and have fun with it. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can, you know, send them to our Contact Us page on top of right here. So you can, driving around the map doesn't really exist. You just try to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so doing this just changes how much you have. Okay, so once you have this selected, and I made my tile set outside, you can make it overworld, you can do whatever you want. But I did this one because house. So you can click on this and, create, so all that was rectangle mode. So I'll make it pen, and we can create, different types of designs. So first, I'm gonna make my house, and you can just right click, to remove this guy right here for now, click on this button at the top, you can click here, right click and hit delete. And then go back right here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a little house right now. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit just so you guys can see better. I'm just gonna, make a house. And what's cool is sometimes it'll auto do shadows for you, so we don't really need to spend time on that. And I'll just make a roof. And so that's a pretty simple house right there. No, that's a house. I can go to B, maybe add a door. There's a small door for it. And so what you can do is if you want to drag multiple items, like this entire tree, you can just drag and select all of it. So some trees. I want to maybe add some bushes behind the back on each side. So sometimes you have issues like that. So sometimes overlapping is really weird. So you might not want to add, bushes right there. So I really want to help allow you to play around, and I'll spend a few minutes just making this all look fancy. To delete the character, you're gonna hit this little red icon and then right click it and hit delete, and then you can go back to designing. But yeah, have some fun with it. So I'm just gonna add maybe a shed design. So make sure you're on pen mode. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, and we just do that, We're gonna add some shadow. I kind of want to change my roof so it matches everything. And this is where we're going to use our fill tool. So you can use this. I want to change that roof color. Maybe we have that. No, that. No, what matches? Is there a gray stone roof? No, let's just use that. Just that. To delete the character, like I said, you can just hit on this little red icon right here. Right there. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Right here. Right click and hit delete. And once again, sorry for all you guys that are still having issues downloading it. I don't really like that. That's not cool. Kind of like this. I'll use my fill tool so I can change the colors of that. And this. So the issue right here you'll see is it won't acknowledge it because you're layering on top of it. So I click there. All I have to do is just re-add this door. Not fill though. Boom. I door. And if I want to add this window, I click here. That's only going to add the top half. So what you have to do is you have to drag so you get the entire half. So maybe you have one window right there. And let's add some flowers at the bottom. So we can just do that. Adding it on the bottom. Maybe you'll add, a little sign right here. But let's make it a little bit different. So then we have all these options. So I'm going to use this one. See how if I add this, it's just a square, but I wanted to make it blend a lot easier. So I could use this button and see how it creates a path that looks really good. So I'm going to just create a path really quickly. Create a path. I'm going to make something cool. Yeah, maybe that's gonna be my path. And then I can add maybe some stone out the front. Right there, just for some cool design. I can work on a little pond, maybe. I'll use my ellipse tool to do that. Or I can just, put one right there. Then zoom out just a little bit. You shouldn't need a product key if it's a free trial. If you download it from that link, you shouldn't need a product key at all. You know, let's add some, maybe we'll add a sign. Let's add a sign somewhere. Let's do this. That right there. Maybe a scarecrow right there. We're gonna a bucket just behind the house. And let's just mess with these trees. So I don't just want to hit this, and I'm just gonna start coating this side with trees. Oh, it's still on ellipse mode, so let me use this mode. So we can do this. And so the issue that we now see is that these trees look really, really weird. You can name the game title whatever you want. I just named it My First Game. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my original grass, which was this one. I'm going to erase this and this, just like get them out of the way. I'll fix that, just so I have that. Let's move that. And so there's no really tool to erase items, I guess, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of layering stuff. But I have all these trees on the side. So what you can do is, even though this is a 4 tile item, you can just take, maybe this half and, start creating like that. So I'm going to just click on it. Then, if you open on Firefox, try another browser, I ask then. So we have this. And resizing, so you don't really resize, you're just zooming in, zooming out. And then you can drag if you want to choose multiple items. So I'm going to continue just playing around with this and let you guys explore. We also had some of these types of trees, just all in a row. Maybe some vegetables grown out here. There's a box of carrots. Maybe a cactus. Because why not? If I hit C, maybe they live behind a tower of sorts. Let's just do that, and then all this overlay. You can click on that, and then just add a little cone to the top. How do I get the house that big? Well, if I just click on this one tile, I can just drag it. Or you can use the rectangle tool. See, I can build however big of a house I want. Maybe add some. This is maybe like a lot of darker trees right there. We click B. Maybe there's a crack in time. Maybe there's just a big crack. Maybe let's add a rope. Yeah, let's do a rope. That'd be pretty cool. We can just do a rope, so we just drag one down to the bottom. Let me find that beanstalk I was talking about. To delete things, like I said, there's no really point of deleting. You just draw over it. So I can just draw over it. See? Zooming in, this green button with the plus, and zooming out was that. And then original is that. And zoom back in just so you guys can see. So this is what I have right now. I'm going to add this one. I really like this. This is kind of cool. So maybe a little pond of water. We'll add just a little surrounding around it. Actually, let's just do a single. So if I just draw a box right there. And so see, sometimes how you design things might not look as good as you thought they would. There, we have that. Maybe let's just drop some water in there. Remember, if you make a mistake, you can hit undo. If it finished downloading, but it keeps asking you have to download, can you send a picture of your screen to this link right here? Lavender, just go to that link and someone will help you. Because I can't really see what your screen looks like. So we can continue on maybe a little bit. Maybe we'll add a little well right here. There's a well right there. That doesn't look that good actually. Maybe a well right. Let's actually extend that pathway just a little bit. there. Let's add our well. And see, sometimes it might not look good at all. So I'll just add a well right there, I guess, in the end. Maybe a little sign right there to show that it's their house. And like I said, you can add a bunch of different, maybe some grass in here. How do I get so many tiles? I'm just, clicking here and dragging them around. I mean, you can really just play around with it, and, that happens. You can use the rectangle tool and circle tool to just drag, see, and make all these different designs. You can't necessarily add more pixels. You can add more tiles. Oh, how do I get them in the inventory? Oh, if you hit edit, you can change your tile set. So if I made this overworld, look how weird it looks. So you want to change it to, maybe I'll change it to SF outside. And it still looks super weird. Edit outside. Okay, back to normal. And that's why I have so many, different tiles available. Maybe we'll just add some water streaming out. I wanted to add a patio, but let's add some, some fence around their property. How do we add maps? You just gotta right click on your game and then hit new, or you can right click on another map. Make a small stream. Let me finish this fence first, just so they don't get violated on their property, just so we can make sure that the person's safe. Oop, fence, okay, make a small stream. I'll use this tool. See, you can just drag it, and it'll just, let's just drag it through their house. I'll make their, and see how it automatically just made their house smaller by me dragging straight through it? There. To delete the character, once again, you hit this top corner button. Then you can right click on the character and then hit the delete character button. Yeah. Yeah, you can, it's really cool because we can add, maybe you want to add that. But no, I'm just going to draw a stream through this person's house. What else can I do to make it a little bit more fun? Let's add some flowers, maybe. Some stumps. Chopping wood. I don't like that. That stands out. It's weird. So I can just, like I said, you can just fill it and it'll disappear. Let's add some, some water elements, some lily pads. I don't know what this thing is. Oh, so what you can do with this is to create the illusion of, it's deep. Maybe you have a deep pond. See how it randomly chooses where it wants to go for that, so that's pretty cool. After we delete, how do we add a character? Yeah, we're gonna go over that once we finish learning how to make this map. Okay, great, Lavender. We're gonna get back to you hopefully soon. So, hopefully, all you guys are at a place where you can, have your maps. And we'd love to see what you guys have made. If you're on Discord, share your map. We'd love to see it, and then maybe you can play your game sometime. But, yeah, so this is what we have right now. I'll just, add some finishing touches. This is kind of empty. You know what? I'll just add a bunch of gold in the middle right here. Let's just add some gold. Perfect. Just a gold pile. To make a map, you guys do right click here, hit new, or right click here, hit new. Yeah, we're just gonna put a bunch of gold right there. So that's weird. But yeah, I'm gonna add maybe some of this to the top. Just add some of these maybe. So it's a little bit odd, so let's then so this is probably the worst house you could possibly make because there's no way in or out. You just gotta live here because you're surrounded by bodies of water. If you still can't delete the character, that's completely fine. We'll move it again anyways. There's my water. Yeah. So, you know, maybe you can add a bridge. Does that exist? Yeah, there's a bridge there. Is that a bridge? What? That's whack. That's not a cool bridge. It has to be a bridge from here then, I guess. Because all these items in B and C go on top of your original items, so you can't really add them underneath. Some plants. Let's add some plants. Let's drag these. Radish, carrots in the ground. You can't really do any rotating things, but they did offer 2 options. Okay, so this is what I have right now. It's a pretty fun map we have right here. So it's a house. We got a little tower, some carrots, some gold, some stumps, house. This. One more thing we're gonna do is we're gonna delete these other maps we've made. So you only have one map. We can delete this one as well. You only have the map that you're working with. So right here it's this. I'm gonna rename it. So edit. How are they not invincible? You can change that. We'll actually explain how to make them invincible. I'm gonna rename it maybe to Alone House. Oh, they are invincible after giving them 1 HP? I don't know, dude. Maybe you made your enemies 1 HP. I have no clue. So we have this. And maybe I want to have, go inside the house, but I'm too lazy to create one, so let's hit load. And then let's just, grab a village house. Is there more houses available, or is there big house, house 1, house 2, suburbs? Yeah, let's just do that normal house, I guess. So let's do house 1. And we have a basic house right here. This black is kind of like what you see in the games, and you can add that just like this, see? And so the character won't be able to interact with that. Most of the time it's just made, outside, because when you have a black outline, it basically indicates that you're inside a building. So we have this, and we have that. So we have our alone house right here, and we have our house. So now what we're gonna do is when you're done, hit this red icon, and you can literally right click anywhere, hit quick event tree, set starting position, and just hit player. And now what you can do is you can hit this play button, hit save, hit OK. I'm gonna move to my other page. And so right here, we now have my game. I'm gonna hit new game, and you can use your arrow keys, and you can move characters. So right now you have 4 characters, and so all the collisions are automatically done for you. So I can't cross the stream. I can go across this. I can go into here. But we're gonna fix that later. You can move around. It's kind of a mess with a lot of people. We're gonna remove all of them. You can see we're stuck right here. You can go behind this. See, but we can't cross. You can also use, if you have a touch screen, you can use that, or you can use a mouse. But I can't cross the water unless there's something there. If I wanted to go there, it's impossible for me. So yeah, that's a basic game. I mean, you can hit the escape button. You have your characters that are predetermined skills. He has magic, healing. You have equipping. You can check status, formation. So now, Therese is in the lead. Yeah, I never added a bridge, so there's no way they can leave. See, they can't go anywhere. They basically somehow got carrots planted on the other side without being able to cross. So, yeah. So that's what we have right now. All you can do is move and basically just play with the environment. The cool thing is you see is the water is actually, you know, animated. So it's all, you know, it looks like it's moving. It's just moving back and forth really slightly. So if you hit escape, you can hit game end to title, and I'm just gonna close out my game. So now we're gonna actually make our own characters and add them to the game. And the way we're gonna do that is using something known as the character generator. So we can do this by hitting the little dude with the eye patch, and then you'll see a panel like this. So let's just do that. If you hit the character generator, and remember, if you have any questions, feel free to hit the link right here, stempump.com/contact us, if it's anything specific about downloading that you need to show us a picture of. Otherwise, if you have a basic question, feel free to ask in the chat. And so what this is right here is our character generator. You can create male, female characters, or kids. I'm going to make a male character. And basically you can customize them however you want. And to create the character, you just got to hit this little dude with the eye patch right here. So you can customize, you know, basically everything about them. I'm going to make a Link basically right now. So I'll maybe stick with that front hair. I'll maybe change it to that. Or, you know, looking at Link, he might not even have any front hair. No, he definitely has front hair. But these all have, and you can kind of scroll through and play with these. Let's do that. For rear hair, to play your game, you just gotta hit this play button at the top corner when you're out of this. I've never been able to make a perfect Link. Ears, eyes, big eyes. Mouth, smile, maybe a nose like that. Clothing. So you can really just play around with this. Good character generator. Just gotta hit this dude with the eye patch at the top. Just a business suit. No. I'll just change some of the colors here. I'll make him Breath of the Wild one. I like that one. Link from Legend of Zelda. And you can go to generator by hitting this button. This camp's actually a middle school class, bro 6844. So I'm just gonna change it. I don't want to give. He doesn't have a cape. Accessories, no. This class is until for the next 1 more hour basically. So we still have to add events, you know, work with enemies, all that. No glasses, no accessories, clothing. I think I'm just gonna stick with him on this one. Wings, no. That, nose. Face, let's make his face a lot different. Make him look like that's weird. That's scary. So we can do that. Rear hair. That also just doesn't look that good. So yeah, there's a lot of different options you can do here. I'll just make my character look like that. Yeah, that looks fine. How do you take off a beard? Well, if you have a beard, you just want to hit this first button. So if this is how my character looks, I just have to hit this button. And so right here we have this. To add a character, we just right click, hit set starting position, and then player. So I go back, and it reset. So I'm just gonna actually just choose this guy as it is, I guess, since it reset. So once you're done with your character, let's just randomize. And all these just look weird. Yeah, this guy looks like he has fun. I'm gonna change his clothing though. He's gonna wear a business suit. Red business suit. So this is my guy now. So what I can do now is you can hit face image, and you're gonna hit export, and then just give it a name. So I'm gonna give it my guy, and then just I'm gonna copy that right now. Copy, save, and then you hit close. You can hit walk character, export. I'm gonna hit once again my guy. Hit save, close, damage, export. Then you're gonna do my guy dash damage, close. We're gonna do battler, and then export my guy, save, and then hit close, and you can hit close again. So now when we have that done, and you can create as many characters as you want here, you gotta export them all the time. We're gonna hit this little gear icon right here. And these are called our actors. These are all our characters in our game. So right now I'm only gonna need one, so I'm just gonna delete the rest. You can click on them and hit the delete button, and they won't exist. So I'm gonna go to Harold. I'm just gonna name him Greg. So it's my new character, Greg. And you can double click here, and there's my guy. I can just start adding him in by double clicking here. How much does this cost per week or month? Well, it depends on what you're asking. How much does what cost? So right here, I have my guy named Greg. And what you can do is you can actually, if you don't like this, you can choose any of them. So maybe you want to make him evil. And they have tons and tons of different characters to choose from. I mean, I don't know why you'd make your character a gate, but you can. I mean, I don't know why anyone would make it a character gate. But right now I'm just going to make it my guy. You don't want to do my guy damage, otherwise every time he walks, he's just going to be on the floor. You can find all the actors if you hit this little gear icon. To save the character, you just gotta hit these buttons: face image, walk character, damage your character, and battler, and just give them a name and then just save them. And so once you go to the gear menu, you can double click, find that name, and then just choose them. I'll give it a little bit of a minute. Does anyone have any questions? How do you go to the gear menu? You just gotta click on the gear. Right here. And so I'll just go back here. So this is how we're at the gear menu. And so what this change maximum number does is it basically tells RPG Maker how many characters do we ever gonna have. Most of the time, I'll just keep it to 1. But if you want to add more characters, change that. Otherwise, you won't be able to add them. So if I maybe make it 100, that means I can create 100 different characters. But they don't exist until all these information is filled out. How do I import my character? If you hit the face, and you should find the character that you named. So mine was named my guy. Double click it and hit, and then you just double click for the rest of these. Okay, so hoping you guys all have that done. So right here, I'm going to change my maximum back to 1. And so now what I can do is I can change all these different types of things. So maybe my nickname for Greg, he'll be my guy. Maybe he'll have an initial level of 99 because he's overpowered. And maybe he's going to be a warrior. And so when you change these classes, it changes what weapons they have. So if I double click it, they have only weapon we have is sword. And I'm going to talk about how we can add more weapons and such. But we're going to make him a warrior. He doesn't have a weapon because he doesn't. I'll give him an axe. My guy doesn't need a shield. Hat, he doesn't wear hats. None. He doesn't need. He has cloth, yeah. And then accessory, let's give him a ring. And then, so basically this is what we're going to have. You can add something called traits. So maybe increase all of his attacking levels. And you can probably Google this later because these are all a lot more complex. Hit apply so it just saves when you're done messing with everything. So this is what I got. And I'm just going to write, Greg is my guy. Period. So now we have this. And so you can notice we have classes, we have equipment, we have levels, and we have traits. That's, you can have a trait, you don't have to. So if you look down the side, these are how we're going to change and customize our game. So if you look at classes, this is, hero, warrior, mage, and priest. You want to click export, not import. Import takes in, export sends out. And what we're going to do is we're going to send it out so then we can take it in later. So just hit export. And so you can look at each of these classes, they all have different values. But if I want to go to warrior, maybe I want to change his max HP, you can mess with these values. What happened? I'm gonna restart RPG Maker, I guess. Yeah, that's, oh, there it is, never mind. Okay, here. This button, okay. Come on, what? There, okay, never mind, you don't have to. So what you can do is you can change all these values, so you can choose their highest and lowest values from levels 1 to 99 and stuff like that. And you can add the skills, and what skills are basically attack moves. So maybe I want to give him a triple attack, and hit okay. Just like in Pokemon, each one of your Pokemon has a different move. Or in Legend of Zelda, your character, Link, can hit a sword, or can do a shield or a bomb. So that's what skills are, and these are classes. And you can have multiple classes. Maybe you have an enemy class, or a spy class, robot class. Just different types of classes. To import your character that you made in Character Generator, in the gear icon, you can just create an actor and find your guy. There's also tons of other ones that exist. So I'm going to apply again, just so we save. Right here we have skills, and like I said, if you want to add more or less, you can just change the you can just change that. So you can change that maybe to 100. So if you want to have 100 different classes, maybe you have 100 characters. And to give weapons, you just gotta double click here and change them. And we're gonna go how to add more. So classes, each class has their own set of weapons, shields, head items, body, and accessories. So if I go to class, you can customize what available items they have. You can also make a new class, maybe called person. And you can still mess with all this, add them, give them some skills. Maybe at level 1 he learns triple attack. So that's kind of a cool way to basically add items. And then so skills are basically, moves that they can do. So I always like to set my maximums to 100, so I can always, just modify without being messy. So we can add a new move. Maybe it'll be walk, and my guy walks, and we'll make it a special skill, maybe. It won't cost any TPOP. Scope. All enemies, because we're gonna make this an overpowered. Speed. We're just gonna increase it. Repeat. Animation. And they have tons of animations they already made. So I'm gonna choose the one all the way at the bottom. Glowing light. Username. Username walks. Walks over to the enemy. Required weapon? None. Damage? HP drain? Physical? And you can really just change how much you want. You can add effects. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of different things you can do, and we're not going to really focus that on that today, because this is an introductory class, and everything else with RPG Maker goes a lot more in depth. Then I have items, and items are basically things you can collect. So maybe I'll collect a potion, antidotes, poison, maybe, I don't know, why would you want to, magic water, herbs, and stimulants, so you can basically increase their powers. And like I said, change your maximum. It'll be helpful. Here you can add weapons and change weapons. So maybe I'll make my maximum 100. And I'll make a weapon called cardboard. And the description is going to be Amazon. Weapon type, it'll be a sword. Animation, we'll do a slash special. You can choose whatever you want. Price 0. Attack, let's just make it 1,000. You can make whatever weapon you want, to be honest with you. 500 is maxed out. Icon. Let's choose this little wizard hat. That was cool. Armors, like I said, you can add, make your maximum, and that's with most of these things. You just gotta really just customize them, and you can play around with all the different options. Types. You can add enemies. So right now there's 4 main enemies: bat, slime, orc, and minotaur. Let's create our own enemies. So we're gonna change our maximum maybe just 5 right now. You're gonna click on this number 5. We're gonna name it that guy. And then from there we can add an image. So maybe that guy is just a zombie or a wind spirit or any of these weird things. Let's make it this thing. This is like let's change his color though. Let's make him like green. Yeah. Drop items. You can give him his own attack, his own values. He's just gonna be called that guy. We have troops. So troops will basically allow us to customize how they look on when we battle them, when we create that. So I'm gonna change this maximum to 5 as well. And we're gonna change this to that guy. And so what you have is enemies, and then enemies you can add to troops. So I'm gonna click add, I can drag that, and then I can basically align him, appear halfway, turn that off. You go back to enemies. Maybe I don't want him anymore. Maybe I want this ogre. Yeah, this guy looks cool. He's big. And then if we go to troops, we can move him around. I'll move him over to the side and change the background. So maybe I'll make them in an ice cave. Ice and lava. Yeah. And then you can choose, what things it might do. So, battle test. You can choose stuff. That guy. So we have this new enemy we can fight. States, these are just, maybe you're poisoned or paralyzed. Immortal is one. Animations, these are all the different animations they have, and you can add your own. But there's a lot of them, so maybe if you want to do this one. play. Maybe this one. And you can even change these. So this one's like the one I was using. Ball of light. Laser all. And then you have tile sets. So right now, I already told you that you have 6 tile sets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can change the maximum and actually add in tile sets you find online. So if you find a Pokemon tile set, you can basically just add that in here. And you would be able to use it in Pokemon. You could basically make an entire Pokemon game in here if you wanted to. That said, it would be really hard to do it, but it would definitely be possible. Common events, we're not going to really talk about these. It's just events that you'll use a lot of times. System, very important. So right here, we'll just delete. You can right click and delete all these question marks. And here's where we can change a lot of things. So I'm gonna change my game title to My Guy Alone, and because he's all alone, there's nothing to do. Then we can change their starting positions. We can change the types of boats we use. I want to use that. Well, that's not a boat. Let's do this. You can change window colors. You can change, type of music. So maybe I want to change the beginning music. So this is what we have originally, but I'll make it theme instead. Yeah, that one. And make sure you hit stop because it probably won't let you. Then what you're gonna do is you want to hit this. You can change your title screen. So I'm gonna maybe change it to this cool dragon, even though it has nothing to do with my game. You can change your type of currency number, so maybe I'll name it bucks. And then we're gonna do something called side view battle. We're gonna turn off show player followers, and yeah, I think that should be all we really need to do. Types and terms. These are just, names and stuff that you can change when you're doing things. But that's basically all we're really gonna focus on right inside here. If you hit okay, we can rerun our game and kind of see some of these changes that took place. So you can see that we have my guy now. You can, walk around. He looks all fancy in his red business suit using an escape. He's a warrior at level 99. We don't really have any items with us. Status. So he has an axe, clothing ring, a cloth and a ring, and Greg is my guy. He doesn't need to go to another level. He's at the highest level. And he has $0. So that's all we really changed right now. So now we're actually going to add some things called, and you can actually save your game automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close the game out. So you're going to select the music at the beginning. You hit the gear, system, and then where it says title, you can change music for all these things. So game over, you just double click. What? Why can't I find any more music? What? That's weird. Right, okay, can I go back? Find music. That's really, really weird. Hopefully this didn't happen to you, because all my music just disappeared. Yeah. Well, maybe I have to restart the game later. I'll do that later. But that's where you would go to find it. So right now you should be selected on this little red thing. And let's go back to our PowerPoint. So we did this. So we're going to talk about events. So events allow our game to have things happen. We might want to give our character a bunch of money, or have them fight a goblin, or maybe we will, have some villagers walking around, even though no one lives in this town. We'll maybe have some people just walking around, and then we might want to go inside our house we made to this cool room, and so we'll do that right now. And so first, you got to make sure that you're in event editing mode by clicking this little red icon right here. And so in event editor, a grid is going to form across your entire map that outlines each tile. So see if I'm on the normal one, there's no grid. Here there's a grid, no grid, grid. And so what we're going to do is to open the event editor. And I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to explain how it works. And so let's do that now. So right here on a lone house, we're going to do something quick. So to make this go into the house, we're going to right click on this, hit quick event creation, hit the word transfer, hit location, go to house 1, and then hit this tile right here. This tile, not this bottom one, but this top tile. And then hit OK. And then OK. Now if we run the game, save. What? Why can't I save my game? Okay, I'm going to restart my game. No. For some reason, I have like 300 hours running on this. I have no clue how, though. Come on. Okay. There. Run. Okay. There we go. Everything's back to normal. Hopefully I didn't lose too much progress when that happened. No, I didn't. Yeah, continue. No. New game. Not continue. Just gonna use this. Yes. Cool. Sorry about that. How do you set your player spawn? You have to make sure you get the red guy clicked, right click, and then hit set starting position for player. See, so just right player. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click right here, right click, quick event creation, hit transfer, change it to house 1, and then click on this tile right there. So this tile, not the bottom one. This top one right here. Not this one, this one. What's wrong with Steam? Okay, so right here, now we have that, and you don't have to double click there. So if I run the game now, so hit save. Big. I can hit new game. I'm gonna hit new game. And if I go into my house, see how I'm inside now? And the camera moves. I'm inside the house. If you hold shift, you can speed run. Just run fast. But yeah, we're inside the house. So now let's leave. But I can't leave because we never added another transfer event to leave the room. And so I'm just gonna end the game. And so what I'm gonna hit is click house 1. I'm gonna right click right here instead, and quick event creation, hit transfer. You have to hold shift while running. And then now we're gonna click right here, a lone house, but we're not gonna click this main door, we're gonna click right outside. And you can see really small that there's already an outline there. So the issue is, if you put this on top, you'll be stuck in a loop, which will just bring you in and out of the house over and over again. So this is the best way to do it. So hit OK, let's just change this to right, just cause. And hit run again. You should be able to walk and run just by hitting the arrow keys. Just minimize that. So you can just do this. It also makes the cool noise for us as if we open the door. And you can basically go, you know, you can't go on the bed, but we can go most of the places in here. We can sit on the stool maybe. So now let's actually work on our NPCs, which how we're gonna basically talk to players. So we're gonna basically do that now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit game and I'm just gonna exit this. How do you use keyboard? You can use your arrow keys or WASD. So I'm just gonna right click here and change that to my set starting position for player. So the player's now going to start inside the house. So let's create maybe a character, like a mom, that's going to be walking around here. So we're going to hit double click right here or anywhere, and you'll see a page like this. This is called our event editor. And so this will allow us to create functionality with our game. So first, let's give it a picture or a sprite or an image. So I can just double click here, and let's just give it maybe this person. And that's what it's going to look like. And we can double, so this is, now we have movement, priority and trigger. So trigger is basically me. If we hit enter when we're next to them, they'll start talking to. They'll activate whatever's in here. If we hit player touch, when we touch them, it'll activate. Event touch, when another event touches this event, it'll happen. Auto run, this will run as soon as the level loads. And then parallel will mean that this will run while you can do whatever you want. The difference between parallel and auto run is that auto run won't let you move as long as that is running. So we're going to leave it on action button, and then we're going to change. This is autonomous movement. This basically controls how our NPC is going to work. So I'm just going to hit type. I'm going to change it to random, and if I hit apply and then OK, and I run the game, new game, I'm inside, and you can see now the person's walking around. Very weirdly though. Yeah, and they'll turn too, even though we didn't add it. And so what you can do is you can increase speed, but if I click on them and hit enter, nothing really happens because I didn't tell them for anything to happen. So if I leave the game again, so now in event, see if I'm in sprite mode, I can't double click them. But if I'm in event mode, I'll be able to double click them. So I'll double click it. And so on the action button, so when I hit action button, you can double click here. To create the NPC, you just have to hit this right here, double click, and then start messing with the image and then the motion. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to double click on the character we already made. I'm going to make it a little bit faster. And I'm going to double click on this little diamond right here. And this is called our event command. And this will basically allow us to choose what happens when we talk to when we hit the enter button or our activation trigger button with them. So first I'm just going to write show text. And so this is what our text will look like. We're going to have a face, so I don't know which actor. This one's the one we chose. It means write, hello, my guy. There is another guy outside named that guy who wants to fight. And so right here, you can see that we have this weird little line. And so what this line basically tells us is the end of the text box. So I'm going to hit enter right there. And so we can hit done right there. And if you preview, this is what it would look like on the game. And so you can change where your window goes. Maybe you want to go middle. Maybe you want to go top. I don't think it matters for the preview. Yeah, preview won't show, but I'm going to keep it on the bottom. I'll make it dim, or I can make it completely transparent. But I'm just going to leave it on window, and I hit OK. And so if I hit apply and OK, I run the game again. Hit new game. I can move around and corner them, hit enter, and now they say, hello, my guy, there's another guy outside named that guy who wants to fight. If your character disappears every time you move left and right, it might be because you set the wrong movement sprite. So you hit this gear, and I change my character to maybe the damaged one by accident. I hit OK, apply, I run it. Yeah, see? That's why, because you selected the wrong sprite. So make sure you go back and you export the right sprite that has the entire movement set rather than that one. So you want us to be just the normal one, where he's standing up. Apply, okay. So that's how we got our first NPC made. And let's also, let's add some more. So after this, maybe you want to say, add another text. Show text. Here's some money. So you can double click that, just add a face again. You can add whatever face you want. I just like to keep it similar. And whenever you add stuff, it'll always happen from top to bottom. And so what's going to do? Change gold. We're just going to give it maybe 1,000 gold. Done. And yeah. And so you can also transfer the player You can do whatever you want, but we're gonna do shake screen. And just cause we can, power, just max it out. Okay. Okay. So if I run it now, if you created a character, you had to make sure that you clicked on these buttons like face image, walk, damage, and battler, and then hit export right there. Otherwise, it wouldn't have saved. These ones right here, and then you can customize your character. This is what your customized character looks like. You can hit randomize. And then you just hit face image, export, all that. So if I look at that now. Alright, new game. Let's go talk to that person. Hello, my guy. There's another guy outside that named that guy who wants to fight. Here's some money. And then it's just gonna shake the screen. If I hit escape, I got $1,000 bucks. To load the character, you want to go, like I said, into this little gear icon right here. And then you can modify your character and your name. Whatever you name the file should load right there. Okay. Okay. So now let's actually work on our enemies. So we're gonna go outside right here. So right here, if I hit alone house. No, we have not created enemies yet. All we did was make that guy thing right here. And then this troop of that guy. See? So hit OK. So let's add an enemy. Let's just add him right outside. Let's just add him right here. We're gonna change our image. We're gonna make it click on evil. Let's go to monster, and let's just find our bad guy. Big monster. Let's just find him. Remember, not all bad guys exist here, so let's just choose maybe this one. And let's make him an approached at fast, and then player touch. So that guy's gonna now run up to him, or to this guy, to my original character, Greg, and then we're gonna activate something. So I'm gonna hit text, show text, monster. I want to fight my guy. My name is that guy. And then you can hit OK. And then what you can do is you can add something called choices. And then we can say, actually cancel. We're going to double click here. We're going to hit text. We're going to fight. We're going to add this dude again, monster. And so what we're going to do, he's going to basically say, okay, I want to, you can edit just to edit it. So he's going to say, I want to fight my guy. My name is that guy. Hit OK. He's going to ask if you want to fight. And then right after, we're going to hit something called show choices. And so now we can do yes and no. You can have as many choices as you want. And so if you choose yes, cool, do something. If no, he's going to say understandable. Okay, and then double click. Then he's going to 3, 2. Where's the thing? It might not exist. Yeah, it might not exist. But then we're just going to do a delete, then I guess. Wherever that one was. Erase event. So then he's just going to leave. He's going to delete himself. But yes, then we're going to click 3. And then battle processing. And so now what we can do is we can click that guy. And we're not going to allow him to escape or lose. Hit OK. And if you win, text. He's just going to say, very cool. We're going to change this text face one more time, just to this. Hit OK. And then once again, we're going to erase. And then we're not going to do erase. We're going to end the game entirely. So cancel. If you double click over one, you're going to hit game over. And then delete. Okay, so if you hit apply, then okay. I'm going to run my game then. So yes. So right now our enemy so I'm gonna kind of break down what we're doing right now. So if you're new to the game, we're inside our house. This is our NPC. They're just walking randomly. See, they just walk randomly. You can change how randomly they walk. I'm just gonna talk to them. Oh my guy, there's another guy outside named that guy who wants to fight. Here's some money. He's gonna shake the screen up. Gonna escape. We have $1,000. Escape again. I'm just gonna leave the house. Just go leave. And so he should just be trying to come to me. He hopefully will. Yeah, he's gonna come to me very slowly. I want to fight my guy. My name is that guy. Fight? No. Understandable, and he's just gone. Well, we don't want to do that, so we're gonna do game end, the title, and we're gonna try out what the other version is. Let's just skip $1,000. We don't need that. Yeah, so sometimes you need to check with it. But you're the one that's to touch him, so see. I want to fight my guy. My name is that guy. Fight? Yes. So now what's going to happen is we chose side scrolling. So now we have this. Fight, attack, that guy. And game over. So that's what we have right now. An NPC is just a character. It's just an event that can be controlled. So let's refine our game a little bit more. So I double click him. Frequency, high frequency, fast, approach, apply, okay. I'm gonna go to settings. Whatever we chose, system. For some reason it didn't allow us to show that background. I'm trying to figure out why. That's fine. Go through which process? Make an NPC walk somewhere. So the way we did that inside the house is we just changed its autonomous movement, which means automatic movement. And then you can just change it to random, which is what I like to do, and then change frequency and all that. This is our NPC. You just gotta double click, add an icon. See, maybe an icon like that. Add some random motion to it, and then maybe add some text, some battle processing, shot processing. Name input processing is really cool, so you can input your name and then make that the name of the character. You can do a bunch of different things with this. So you can change enemy, HP, MP, all these different types of things. You can do input number, select an item, change items, weapons, gold. Unique chat mode. I don't know what that is. Is that on here? No. So, how to battle him. Okay, so if we just go to this. So, just like we added the enemy, you just gotta double click when you're hitting here, anywhere. And then you create them by this. So for the enemy, we just double clicked him, gave him an image. We gave him a player touch. Action, but we probably should just do an action button one. He will, actually if we do player touch and give him a priority above, that might work. Then we basically say, yes, you double click to add him. We asked text, so I want to fight, and then you can add a question, which is show choices. So if he says yes, battle processing. If you win, it's game over. If no, well anyways, anytime after battle processing, game over. If you say no, understandable, he destroys himself, and that's it. So if I rerun, this, and so you can see it's moving a lot more randomly and faster now, but it's moving between, yeah, it's moving very, just as a person moves. Oh my god, there's another guy. Want to fight? Here's some money. And you can just leave. Look at that. He's trying to, he won't let you persist. Yes. Battle. Fight. Magic. You don't have magic to move. Escape. Guard. 0 damage. Making a character, we use the character generator, so I'll go over that one more time. So you just, we'll randomize it, just cuz. Randomize. This guy looks cool. Face image. Just hit export. I'll name him 1. Hit save. Close. Walk character. Export 1. Close. Damage. We're gonna name him 1-D for damage. Close. Battler. Export 1. Save. Close. And close. You can hit this gear icon right here, and we can make an actor. So let's make a new actor actually. So let's make it 2. We're gonna name him Rowley. Then to add we can add a face. We can add this. What is that showing? We can add this. And then we can add that. So you just simple. Then from here we can change his classes and all that. If we want to use Rowley instead of Greg, you just go to System, delete, hit Edit, change it to Rowley, and now he's our main character. Apply and OK. How do we make the enemy talk? All you have to do is just write text. Hit text, show text. If you hit show text, then you'll get this cool panel where you can write what it says. When you export it, it does create a file. That's what's supposed to happen. Then you can it'll ask a question, which is the same thing as showing text. Then you hit show choices. Then you should probably rename it if it's overwriting itself. Yeah, you shouldn't name all of them the same. The walk, you should name them all different based on what they are. So maybe 1-face, 1-walk, 1-damage. How do you make the characters fight? This is called battle processing. So if you double click, go to number 3 and hit battle processing, you can choose our enemy, which is that guy. Hit OK. And then that's how we do battle processing. Let me delete that, otherwise we'll do 2 of them. And then after battle, he'll say very cool, and then game over. If you say no to him, so when no, he'll say understandable, and then this. Your villain isn't showing up, then you should probably check your image right here, if you chose one. If they're not showing up in battle, then you probably have to modify your troops to make sure that they're in. So I can add multiple of them. Let's add another that guy. Maybe we'll just have a bunch of them. So there's like a bunch of them here. Yeah, if I apply and OK. Apply this. So remember, Rowley doesn't have the moves that Greg had. Greg had a level 1000 move. This guy can't come up to us. Boom. Fight? Yes. But now there are fight, attack. There are 5 of them. So now it's actually like a real... So now it's like an actual RPG where it's really, really hard. You don't give your main character 99 level damage. So once you make the files, you hit the gear, and those files should appear underneath your actors. Like I said, you can just double click and they should show up right here. How do you get the moves? To do that, it's just a skill. You just add skills. You add skills to classes, and then classes to actors. It's very, very weird and tedious, but it allows you to have a lot more customization than you would normally have. Any more questions? Because we're almost getting close to the end, and I want to answer your questions before we end today. And remember, if you didn't understand anything today, all this video will be up later today, as well as our course is also available in the app as well as online. Any more things you guys want me to go over right now? Okay, cool. So I'm going to continue with my slideshow then. So that's about it for today's camp. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to head over to this page, stempump.com/r/rpgmaker. It's going to be updated later today and tomorrow, so it has a lot more content added to it, so it'll be a lot easier for you to go through. And then this stream will be on YouTube as well with, like I said, minor revisions to the current course. So far, these are all the courses with the check marks we have taught. We have FTC Judging, our last FTC Judging tomorrow. We teach Inventor on Tuesdays from 3 to 5. Next week at this time, we'll be teaching Java, and then the week after, we'll be teaching Artificial Intelligence. If you've missed any of these classes, you can go to our, you can sign up for, first of all, you can sign up for more camps at stempump.com/camps. So maybe FTC Judging, Inventor, Java, or Artificial Intelligence. If you missed any of our previous camps, you can download our app, which is on the App Store right here. stempump.com/app also works, and you'll be able to watch these videos as well as read the course at the same time. If you missed any previous camps, you'll be able to find today's camp as well on stempump.com/r/yt, which is our YouTube channel. Add us on social media. Our Discord channel's pretty fire. We're doing a lot of cool things on there. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and we post all of our new stuff that's going on all these 3 places. So if you want to hang out with us, ask questions, this is the place to do it. And then we'd love to hear your feedback on today's camp. I know a lot of you guys couldn't get it downloaded, and I'm really sorry about that. But we'd love to hear your feedback on how we can improve what you like about today's camp, for the future. So stempump.com/feedback. And so finally, thank you for joining the stream today. There was a lot of you guys, and you guys all, asked questions and made it work. So yeah, thank you. And if you want to see more RPG Maker things in your feedback form, just ask about that. What do I click for NPCs? You want to make sure you have this little red thing clicked. Double click on any of the grids. Attach a character, an icon of whatever. Change your autonomous to random or approach, and then you can program what it does afterwards. And so, like I said, you can always contact us at stempump.com. And the game over thing, just double click, number 3, hit game over, just like that, game over. And yeah, so that's it for today. Hope to see you guys at some of our other camps. But yeah, bye.